And I'm back, and I'm looking at cases where a person has been charged with the Bushfire Offence. That is intentionally cause fire and be reckless as to its spread. That is section 203E of the Crimes Act and New South Wales. There's been an arrest here in Maitland, and I'm going to call this person Adam. I'm not going to use their real name, it just avoids a whole lot of privacy and defamation issues. It's August 2023. Police issue a media release at 3 a.m. No, I'm not reading these at 3 a.m. in the morning. I find out about it on the local radio while I'm sitting in traffic in the morning. The police media release gives little detail. Turns out there's been an investigation into bushfires over the past couple of months in the Maitland Cessnock area. It doesn't name Adam. It just says the person is an 18-year-old and they've been charged with 15 offences, including 13 counts of the Bushfire Offence. Police refused bail and it's in Maitland local court that day. Police do have powers to refuse bail, but it must go to court as soon as practical. In this case, it's in court the day after the arrest. So he spent the night in the police cells. I have enough time to print the court list out and arrive at court here in Maitland before it starts at 9:30. There are 119 cases on the list for that day in Maitland local court. The police media release has no name but the charge, whereas the court list has the name but not the charge. Not having a name, I don't know which one it is, so I'll have to sit in the gallery and listen. When I say the gallery, I mean there's seats at the back where the public can sit and listen as long as you follow the court rules. Like you can't take photos and you must respect the court etiquette. For example, don't bring your dog. It's your responsibility to know the court rules if you sit in the gallery. There are 3 TV camera crews outside. Court starts at 9:30, but it's decided to hear the traffic cases first. So the large number of defendants for all the other cases, which are mostly AVO related, have to wait around outside. For the first hour, I can't even get a seat in the gallery. It's packed and I have to wait outside where I risk missing the case. The reporters get their own seats and the TV cameras aren't allowed in there, so they're still outside, but they've moved themselves into the shade. Eventually I get a seat inside and I listen to what feels like never-ending traffic cases. Suddenly, at about 11:15, the solicitor at the bench finishes one case and says their next case involves a person in custody and they will be seeking bail. All eyes turn to the side door as it opens and metal clicking of shackles can be heard. The gallery, who are mostly blocked by the large dock in the middle of the room, move around to try and catch a glimpse of the defendant. "Wow, he's young," is whispered. It's not obvious yet, but somewhere in the gallery is the defendant's family member. It feels really serious. The police are now standing and the court sheriffs have moved forward into the court. The 2 correctional officers flank Adam as he's led past the reporters into the dock directly facing the magistrate. 9 minutes of silence follows. The packed gallery, the standing officers silently watch the magistrate reading papers. No one moves. Let's pause. There isn't really an announcement or an explanation about what is going on. If you're in the gallery, you need to work it out yourself. Today is going to be about bail. If the police refuse bail, the defendant can make an application to the court to ask the court to grant bail. That's what's about to be discussed. Today is not about the person starting a jail sentence. It's not even about whether they did it or not. Bail is an agreement that you can be at liberty, meaning you can be free to go home, but you'll come back and answer the charge. What is going to be explored is the risk to the community during the legal proceedings and if evidence and witnesses are going to be interfered with. Bail can come with conditions to reduce those risks. The magistrate will first allow the prosecution and then the defence to make arguments about bail concerns. Bail concerns are things like failing to appear, the seriousness of the offence, the risk of endangering the community, the risk of interfering with witnesses and evidence. There is a list of criteria that the prosecution and the defence can speak about. For example, the defendant's background, the seriousness of the offence, the strength of the prosecution's case. But time is limited, so you've got to pick the most relevant topics to persuade the magistrate and talk fast. It's not a TV show. There is no opportunity for dramatic long pauses. There will be fast talking. I want to mention that anything the prosecution or the defence are about to say are untested allegations, meaning they are not required to supply evidence at this stage to support whatever they're about to say, and there is no cross-examination. This is important for us in the gallery not to assume that what they are saying is fact. It's too soon, nothing is proven yet. So back to court. To start the process, the magistrate finishes reading and gives the prosecution a sort of look, which means start. For 3 minutes, the prosecutor outlines the charges, the type of evidence, and the reasons why they're opposing bail. Myself and the rest of the gallery now know what Adam's real name is. Next, Adam's solicitor goes. They talk for about 8 minutes, they describe his characteristics, his life circumstances, and they propose bail conditions. There's some back and forth with the magistrate to clarify some points. To me, it becomes obvious who Adam's family member is here in the gallery. They are clearly affected in silence by what is unfolding. Within minutes, it becomes clear the magistrate has not been persuaded that the proposed bail conditions are enough to mitigate the risks. Bail is refused. There's some quick discussion on the next court date, and Adam disappears through the side door to be transported away out of public view. As the side door locks shut, morning tea is called and everyone is ordered out of the court. The reporters have already overtaken everyone trying to squeeze out through the front door. Stepping out into the daylight, everyone is confronted by a trio of TV cameras. As the entire court spills out, the cameras rush for position to catch a shot of Adam's family member, because remember, you won't see Adam. The person stays on the veranda where the cameras aren't allowed, and they slip into the court registry. The media rush around, which is now something for the gallery to watch as we wait for the magistrate to finish morning tea. When the magistrates have morning tea, I do realise it's a working morning tea. They're reading and checking things before they sit again. Someone in the court registry is generating a lot of paperwork at the moment. About 20 minutes later, the family member exits the safety of the veranda and they disappear towards the car park, taking the media with them. Court resumes and everyone files back in. My thoughts? Awful watching a young person at the beginning of a really serious legal situation, which is going to shape their future. Watching that completely deterred me from ever doing this crime, but for the record, I was already deterred.